everybody is in harmony. I mean, it's magical, wonderful stuff. It's perfect.
In Acts,
In
the book of Acts, they
right.
set up kind of a commune.
Not kind of, literally.
And they're living there.
And everybody is giving these guys all the money, and then they're going out and buying the food and stuff. And
who are the guys? The disciples are in charge.
No, the apostles are in charge. So it's apostles are the 12.
Okay.
And then
and they set up a commune.
They set up
in Rome or something.
No, in Jerusalem.
Oh, okay.
So this is taking place in Jerusalem.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, in the story, there is this husband and wife team who join the commune, only they don't give all of their money. They say they do, but they hold a little back. So the old man shows up, and he's confronted, I think, by Peter. And Peter says, "Hey, why did you tell us you gave us everything, but then you didn't?" And he goes, "Abity, abity, abity, abity," and dies.
Really?
Yep. They take his body out, get rid of his body. His wife comes over, and they say, "Hey, so your husband's dead, and why is it that you said you gave us everything, but you didn't?" And she goes, "Abity, abity, abity," and she dies.
Wow. Dies.
And then. The commune disappears. It's never mentioned again. There's a line in there about how many were afraid
to go there.
Unless
they'd be killed.
Well,
because when they died, it maybe just killed?
No, they weren't killed. These guys, they had heart attacks or whatever.
Okay.
I mean,
it happens. But then people don't want to go anymore.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And
it's human nature. Maybe this is why this is either a warning for why communes don't work in the Bible, or
the thing of it is, and then it's I think where is this? Okay, so it's Acts. I think it's 15. No, there it is.
Yeah. Is this
Ananias? A certain man named Ananias and Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession, and they kept back part of the proceeds, his wife also being aware of it, so they both know, and they brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, "Ananias, has Sapphira filled your heart? Why has Sapphira filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and keep back part of the price of the land for yourself? You have not lied to men, but to God." And then Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and breathed his last. Okay? And the young men arose and wrapped him up and carried him out and buried him. And about 3 hours later, his wife came in, not knowing what had happened, and Peter answered her, Tell me whatever you sold the land sold the land for so much." And she said, "Yes, for so much." And then Peter said, "How is it that you have agreed together to test the Spirit of the Lord? And look at the feet of those who have buried your husband are at the door and will carry you out." And then immediately she fell down at her feet and breathed her last. And then after that, let's see. So a great fear came upon all the church and upon all those hearing these things. And there's little mention of what's going on there. Okay, so this is chapter 5 of Acts, and at the end of chapter 5, by the end of chapter 5, okay, we're basically we're changing the story, or changing the story in chapter 5, and it's never mentioned again. There's no other book that mentions it. There's no reference to it. It's just the whole idea of the commune. But part of the idea of the commune is earlier. They use the expression, who heard. The point is, it's magic and wonderful. Commandments.
So maybe as early as in the Bible, they were experimenting with
Right.
communism and a
Yes.
commune
And
that
it
were
disappears, and I think, and the idea that, the idea that that if you don't do everything exactly right, you're going to not make it.
Mhm.
And people are looking at this and going, yeah, this isn't such a good deal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're anyway, and then of course the idea of a Christian commune is actually, it comes up again historically all the time. I mean, all the whole monastic, the monasteries, I mean, that's what those things are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those guys are all impoverished. I mean, they don't necessarily, I mean, they don't necessarily buy their way in.
I wonder if a voluntary commune is going to be more successful than a mandatory. It was voluntary, but then it lasted. It was okay. Like a family is kind of a voluntary commune. But if everybody in the whole city, you can't turn to a whole commune or a country. And like a lot of people are like, okay, well, let's just chill.
But see, that's the next thing. Every family is a voluntary. Well, it's quasi, unless
you have to be able to kick people out.
When your children say, "I didn't ask to be born," then what do you do?
Mm. Well, you could leave. They could leave. Then they do. And then that's how a commune has to work. You can't just take everybody that lives in somewhere. It has to be a voluntary, and you have to kick people out, I suppose.
But the theory that rose up in Marx communism,
mm-hmm.
and I pretty much stated in Marx, and definitely as it got into Russia,
mm-hmm.
the next part is everybody has to be in. The only way it's really going to work is when the whole world is in Marx's hands.
Yeah. That'll never work.
Well, will it ever happen, I guess, is the question.
Yeah.
I think the answer is no. I think logistically it's absurd.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, obviously it was tried, all over the world in many places, like they took cities and divided them right down the middle, and they'd have one communist, and a communist would tell you like, oh, well, or socialist, and we took Berlin, it's so hard to, the problem with defending communism is you have a lack of examples that work. And it's tried over and over and over again. You can't just keep saying, well, this time I try it. But
now China can say we did, and look, it works.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did something slightly different. They have. I'm not convinced that the Chinese system is going to be that bad of a system. I mean, they're kind of. I'm all in favor of smaller government. I think smaller government is the way to go. But I wonder if they have some things right also.
Well, they do, but my view is what they have right is the same thing that Hitler had right, which is, yeah, we're socialist and I'm in charge, but you get to run your business. I'm going to tell you more or less how you're going to fit in with the big system.
Yeah. And
you get to keep most of your profits.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a very successful strategy. I mean, I think you need capitalism in that way for something to be powerful.
And that's kind of what that numbskull World Economic Forum guy, Klaus Schwab.
Yeah.
He uses all these terms. What was some of his terms? Shareholder capitalism.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Stakeholder capitalism.
Where the workers own the business type thing.
No.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody has a say in how you're running your business. And everybody means your neighbors, your friends.
Yeah, like just traditional socialism where the government owns the means of production. But I think in China, who runs the business, who has a say in the business isn't everybody, is only the Communist Party. In
the end, that's true. But see,
and they're not elected, which you gotta wonder.
They are. They pretend they are.
Well, they promote people in the party based on. My impression is they would promote people in the party based on how well you do, in being a mayor, and then you're a governor, And then if you do a good job in government, your numbers are good, like you get promoted, and then.
It's kind of how it works here.
Yeah, but here you have to go through this vote. And you're voted,
That's true,
people are voted
but
on by.
In the end, but at a certain point in time, once you get attached to the party, the fundraising is very different.
Yeah. You're right. That's exactly what happens. Like, that's why I can't just step up and say, like, okay, I'm going to be I'm running for governor. I mean, you can do it, but like, you logistically can't do it. You need to have the party behind you to do it. Yeah, that's true. And then we have these like sort of elections between, Kamala, whatever, she's on the top of the party or whatever. But it's much more swayed by public opinion, I think, here. And so, but I like smaller government, like as you get bigger and bigger government, you have poorer and poorer people making control.
I came to the conclusion that, I was the libertarian guy.
Yeah. I still like
I was
an
actual member of the Libertarian Party and did all this libertarian stuff.
Where have your views changed since then?
My views have changed because the Libertarian Party, first of all, got taken over by the pot smokers.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to pot.
Yeah.
But when the pot smokers took over, it had a whole different character.
The whole thing. Did you see the last presidential nominee by the Libertarian Party?
No, I know.
Yeah, it was like a trans dude or something.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Which is the opposite of my idea of the Libertarian Party. My idea of the Libertarian Party is like Rand Paul and Ron Paul.
Right.
Yeah, like independent people. Like this guy was just like I don't know.
Well,
like
see, and when I was in it, it was Ayn Rand.
Yeah.
Was always a big component. So you're looking for these, these heroic men.
Well,
and
independent people.
Well, no. They got to be big. They really should be bigger than like hero types.
Well, they should be
Ayn Rand style heroes.
Yeah, but she's a woman.
Well, I know, and so she had some history. She had very heroic girls too.
Mm-hmm.
Dagny Taggart. You can't beat a name like Dagny Taggart.
That's a pretty good one. You're right.
She was a big anyway, but the pot smokers really changed the complexion of the party, and then over the course of the years that I was actually a member of the party and paid attention to them and gave them money, they never grew.
No,
it never grew, and the highest percentage they ever got was the election that I actually worked on in, what was it, 78, I guess.
Yeah.
Or 76, maybe.
Really?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. That's the biggest percentage. They once got a one vote in the Electoral College.
Really?
The Libertarians did. Exactly one vote. Somebody voted.
Well, the 70s were a time when we were turning rather socialist in the other direction. Like Jimmy Carter was pushing us in the other direction. And then when maybe Reagan came back, I wonder if that's when the Libertarians were getting a little bit more momentum behind them. Well, when did Ron Paul come in there? And he seemed to be, I'll bet you he was the biggest libertarian candidate that I know.
Yeah, probably.
Name-wise.
Did he? I can't even remember. Did he run for president? He must have run for
president. He ran for president several times, yeah. And he was in some of the debates. And he was the only articulate one. But it's always confusing to me how people didn't see his logic, Like, he was the articulate, only one that made sense. Everybody else just would have these platitudes of like, we need the best schools for every child and no child left behind, and like, we're gonna give good food and we need cheaper and we're like, okay, well what does that mean? It means nothing unless you have a way to do it.
Somehow or other, some guy in Washington's gonna come up with the formula that's gonna create all these things.
It seems so ridiculous, all these candidates, and Ron Paul was like, oh man, this guy could talk, this guy could do it. And he was a senator for a long time, right? From Kentucky?
Yeah, I think he was.
From Kentucky until his kid came and took, a similar spot.
And I like Rand Paul too. But sometimes
he's on the outs with the Republicans.
Well, and he kind of should be because, it's the other thing too. It's like.
Well, they're all independent thinkers.
You wonder what they like. When he gets in a room with Donald Trump, What do they think of each other? I don't know.
Hmm. I don't
Rand
know.
Paul remember when he got beat up
Yeah, by his
by
neighbor.
his neighbor?
Yeah, the loony
I mean,
left.
he got really, really badly hurt.
Yeah,
He ended up in the hospital, and I think it probably shortened his life.
that's what happens,
So
man.
badly he was hurt.
Like any of these major injuries around this time tend to do that to someone at this age.
Yep, no internet.
No, still?
Still no internet.